So I did the same, and I've come up with atheism. What's the difference?
What did you investigate about Islam?
Not a great deal, to be fair.
So there you
What did you investigate?
Sorry, but can I just jump in?
Lots.
Are you going to do that
Lots.
now?
Okay.
Are you going to look into Islam now, or research some of what the brother's been talking about?
No, hold on. What did you investigate that didn't convince you?
Lots of things.
Now, name me one.
It's more faith-based.
Come on, name me one.
It's a faith.
No, don't go there. Name me
have
one. You made a
faith.
claim. You made a
You
claim.
have a
Why are you
faith.
smiling now?
You'll get there.
Use your
The
opportunity.
reason why
Let him talk.
the reason
And listen as well.
the reason
I'm listening
why
and I'm letting him talk.
the reason why I'm telling the people here is because when somebody says to me, why do you accept this to be true? And those reasons have been given many times before to this brother who doesn't go away to investigate the reality of those claims, and you simply come and regurgitate and ask the same question. To me, that shows intellectual dishonesty. It's not an honest person
In your
having
opinion.
an honest discussion.
So again,
now,
have you answered the question?
Now I'll come to your question.
Oh, thank you.
Now I'll come to your question.
We don't need preambles.
I've already mentioned to you that there are certain rational faculties that an individual can use to assess a claim. Now the Quran makes the claim that this is a book from Allah, from God. That's the first thing. Now it in itself doesn't mean that it's from God, obviously, but it at least gives you the impetus to now open the book to start the investigation. The Quran claims that you cannot come up with a Quran like it. So it challenges the pagans of the time that you cannot duplicate or come up with a Quran like this. So it openly challenges the people. Now the question is, why were the Arabs at that time convinced that these were not the words of Muhammad, peace be upon him, or that these were not the words of any man, or any jinn, any spirit in fact, and why they attributed a supernatural cause to the Quran? Because they could not meet the challenge for the 23 years while the Quran was being revealed. The very grammar, the language itself, even as a non-Arab, if I hear the Quran and I hear the speech of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as a non-Arab speaker, I can differentiate the two. It's like it's a different language, but it's not. It's Arabic. And the Quran claims it's unique. When you look at the prophecies within the Quran, it talks about events to happen. Now listen carefully, because you've ignored that, because I mentioned that to you earlier. It mentions to you things that are counterintuitive, things that you would expect to happen. The Quran is making a claim that is the exact opposite. And guess what? Those things happen. Now you have to ask the question, how does a man in a desert know that in 8 years or 9 years' time, this event is going to happen? And it does happen. So those are all evidences to prove that this is a book from something far beyond the capacity, the capability of human beings, because it talks about things that were unknown, that are only discovered much later. And according to the works of people like Maurice Bucaille, now I'm giving you people who are quotes, who are intellectuals, educated, surgeons, doctors, scientists, professors. The works of Professor Raymond Farrin. I could go on. The works of Timothy Winters, Professor Timothy Winters. You look at the works that they have done, the investigations they have done, the works of Angelica Newith, the Quranic expert on language. What do they say about the Quran? And then when you accumulate all of that evidence together, you are convinced that this is not the work of a man in a desert in the 7th century. This is from, as it is claimed, from the Creator. Now the problem here is this, my friend. Are you going to now go away and research the works of Professor Raymond Farrin or Angelica Newith, or listen to the lectures by Timothy Winters about the imitability of the Quran? Are you going to go and look at the works of many other scholars out there who've talked about the structures of the Quran, the language of the Quran, the prophecies of the Quran? Or are you going to just say, I'm ignorant next week as well? And how do you prove that the Quran is the Quran when you're not prepared to go away and do any homework?
That's what I want to say. Can you read?
Not very well.
Not very
No.
well. Which language you speak?
English.
Okay, so which language you read?
English.
English. So if you have a Quran in English, you can read it.
We'll be happy to give you one if you want one.
Or if it's not, it's up to you as well. It's like you can still look for it and keep searching until you find the right belief you believe in.
You know, people today are more convinced about what lifestyle to lead, whether I got to do yoga or go on this diet or that diet. They'll completely transform their lives on evidence that is often debatable.
So again, you've had lots of speech now, yeah? You've talked a lot.
You asked me a question about the provability of the Quran.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a yes or no answer?
No.
Is it going to be a one-hit wonder? I have to give you the accumulative answer,
Cumulative
right?
evidences that point towards a
Look, let's engage.
creator
Let's
God.
engage on a level. It's not about intellectual, battle here, right? I was born in this country, maybe like yourself, right? I was brought up here. I didn't have to be a Muslim. I could have been a Muslim at home. I could have been whatever I like outside the home. Because there's no camera here, there's nobody watching you. I went on my own journey. I would not have followed Islam if I was not intellectually convinced of the merits for doing so. And it was after years of research, study, questioning, difficult questions being answered, looking at this, looking at that I realized that, alhamdulillah, far from it weakening my belief, it strengthened it. And today you have, mashallah, brother Dowie, you have Jordan, you have Ben, you have people who are born in the Western culture, who've experienced the freedoms of the Western culture, who've looked at Islam objectively, intellectually. They've tested the claims, they've studied it. It took them sometimes years, but they've accepted Islam.
Can I have my go now?
Of course you can.
So I did the same, and I've come up with atheism. What's the difference?
What did you investigate about Islam?
Not a great deal, to be fair.
So there you
What did you investigate?
Sorry, but can I just jump in?
Lots.
Are you going to do that
Lots.
now?
Okay.
Are you going to look into Islam now, or research some of what the brother's been talking about?
I don't know.
I mean, it's up to you what you want to do
I
with
don't
yourself.
know.
You don't know.
Make an intention.
What do you know about atheism?
A lot about
I'm
atheism.
asking you, what do you know
No,
about
but you're
atheism?
having a conversation with me. Lots about
What do
atheism.
you know about atheism? Tell me.
Lots and lots.
But we don't want to get into that right now. But
There
that's
you
a
go.
whole
So don't
digression.
butt in and tell me that I haven't.
Anyway, let's not have multiple conversations. The bottom line is the brother's asking you. I've raised some points for you. I hope that it's sort of say, okay, you know what, that's interesting. Are you going to go away and investigate what I've said to you?
I may.
So then, this is where if a person truly wants to find the truth, and somebody
Truly wants to find the truth. How can you find the truth?
Well, you have to look at it, bro, innit? You know what I'm saying? So you have to look into it.
Not subjectively.
Well, any way you like, just look into it.
No, my faculties
Yeah.
cannot determine the truth.
can they determine what seems more truthful than not?
That's more like it.
Yeah, that's what we're asking you to do.
So are you going to do that?
Reasonable.
Are you going to do that?
Yes.
Say yes. I know that you want to say yes, but you're not going to say, because your face is telling me I want to say yes, but I'm not going to
I'm
say
not
yes.
gonna
So
say-
what I've
Yeah.
investigated so far
Right.
did not convince me.
What did you
Well, that's
investigate
so far,
that didn't
innit?
convince you?
Huh?
What did you investigate that didn't convince you?
Read the Quran, right?
No, hold on. What did you investigate that didn't convince you?
Lots of things.
Now, name me one.
It's more faith-based. right?
Come on, name me one.
It's a faith.
No, don't go there. Name me
have
one. You made a
faith.
claim. You made a
You
claim.
have a
Why are you
faith.
smiling now?
You'll get there.
Name me one. Come on.
You'll get there.
Oh, come on. Look,
No.
I don't know, is that
I have a faith. No, you have a faith.
brother, listen to me.
I can't talk.
Oh, brother.
Every time I talk, you butt in.
Okay, go on.
You interrupt.
Okay, sorry,
Is
I apologise.
your religion a faith-based thing?
Okay.
Yes or no?
In Islam, we have a concept of. In Islam, we have a concept. In Islam, we have a concept
Yeah.
of aql, which is intellect,
Uh-huh.
and naql, which means to simply act out upon what you've been told. Muslims have to engage both
Yeah.
aql and naql. So aql, the intellect, comes in to recognize the truth when it's presented to you.
Yeah. But my intellect is very low.
Brother, listen to what I'm saying.
My IQ is very
Brother,
low.
listen.
How do I get there?
you're an intelligent
Yeah,
guy.
how you bro? You good?
You're an intelligent guy.
Allah help
Yeah?
you.
You're an intelligent guy. Look, the thing.
Yeah, but my
the thing
intelligence is limited.
Okay, everyone's intelligence is limited.
Yeah.
So this concept of using one's mind
Yeah.
to evaluate the proposition,
Yes.
to check the proposition, to investigate and scrutinize the proposition, and come to the conclusion that this is from God is your akal, your intellect. The nakal is now Allah tells you to fast in Ramadan.
It's
Hold on, let me
it's
just.
for like your faculties, your intelligence.
Yes.
Is misguided, no?
Chocolate.
Your senses are
How?
easily fooled.
Okay, but then there comes the
Thousands of years, people have been believing in
Can I just have a-
religious
Okay,
things.
Brother, listen.
You're
it's not always
interrupting
about-
me.
I'm
I
sorry.
haven't finished my sentence.
But I know.
He hasn't said one thing the whole thing.
Yeah.
The guy
Can I just finish my
Go on, go on,
sentence?
crack on.
atheists get very upset.
Don't get upset.
I'm getting very emotional because I am made of emotions. I don't know about you. Are
Yeah.
you a rock?
Yes.
He's
You
a
are.
rock. You can see he's a rock.
So
Look.
it's not good talking to him because I'm a human being full of emotion.
Go on then. Crack
Yeah?
on, brother.
For thousands of years, people have been believing in a God. Now you're saying your God is the one.
No, we're not.
Oh, you're not.
I am.
No.
Christian God.
I am. My God is the one. Allah is the one.
We believe from Adam.
You said it is.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
He said it isn't.
No, but we believe from Adam,
How?
from Adam
Adam
and
and
Eve, the first human beings on earth.
Don't be silly.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's not go into that discussion right now.
Well, you started it.
But from Adam and Eve, we believe that all of the messengers, they taught to believe the one and only
What
God.
messengers?
Dowie is right when Dowie says no, because obviously those gods were changed over time. So they became multiple gods, they became statues, they became the Son of God, etc., etc. Of course, we would not accept that
confusing.
as being God. However, the concept of God, this is very interesting. When you look at anthropology
The concept of God,
of a creator,
Egyptians,
everywhere, all over the world.
Zoroastrians,
The
all over the world.
Aborigines, the indigenous Indian.
So is it a
Eskimos.
human condition?
It's a revelation that was sent to all people throughout time.
Or is it a human condition that we humans,
Yeah.
because we don't know where we're from, dream up
He's talking
some...
about fitra. He's talking about fitra.
So the point that you're making.
I'm talking about imagination.
Yeah, you see the
We humans have a vivid imagination.
Yeah, you're
we
right.
have dreams, and we interpret them dreams to be gods.
You know, if you went to the deep Amazon rainforest and saw a tribe in there, you'd probably find that they would be worshipping some kind of deity.
You can
so
go-
why is it as human beings we naturally will
You can
leave
go
that?
to ancient Amazon, and they don't believe in a god.
Which
They,
ones?
brother, they all worship something.
No,
It would
they
be
don't.
ancestors.
No,
or
they do
They
not.
do.
You may
They
not
do.
be
There are
God,
some tribes in the Amazon that have no concept of a god.
Now we're talking about things that, quite frankly.
So which one's correct?
Can you name
the
the
ones
tribe?
that?
Can you name the tribe?
I mean, not off the top of my head, due to my intellect's not very good.
That's why I say these conversations are fruitless. Let's not go down.
Can you
there.
name the tribe that do believe in
No.
So we're even now.
That's my point. But you brought the tribes up. And that's
No,
my
I
point.
didn't bring the tribe.
Anyway,
He did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
He did.
Okay, sorry, you did. Look, the point that we're trying to make to you is here.
Your apologies accepted.
I've given you.
It's all
No
right.
problem. I said to you it was him. I admitted it.
It's all right.
I've given you a proposition as to why I accept the Quran to be from a
And I'm
divine
giving you a
origin.
proposition where I don't.
Okay.
So which one's correct?
What you should do as a
What
person
I
who's
should do, what
reasonable-
you should do. Why are you telling me what I should do?
Well, let me tell you first, and then you
find
can
the
argue
one
whether
you
you
look
Hold on a minute. Who are you to tell me anything?
Because
What's
you
madness?
asked
All right, then,
how
let me
to
put
Are
it-
you above me?
Since you're so
Are
sensitive,
you my teacher?
Let me see. Since you're so sensitive, what are you?
I'm very sensitive. Once again, I'm a human.
Yes.
I have emotions. Who are you to tell me what to do?
Having
Because
emotions
you
is
asked-
brother. 1 second. Having emotions is fine, but being over emotional is not a good thing either.
Over-emotional?
Yes. Okay. So,
Am I crying?
Am
I angry?
What a truth seeker should do.
You're joking.
What a truth seeker should do is when he's given a proposition,
Yeah,
at least investigate the proposition.
at least.
Are you going to do
Yeah,
that?
I'll do that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. That's excellent.
My teachers.
Challenge you, like, it's become very interesting, you know.
Okay, come forward, brother. First of all, tell me, why are you dressed in green?
Well,
maybe help the labor
because I want to be noticed.
Well, I noticed you straight away.
Yeah.
You finish with me now.
You're from, do you want to have more of a conversation?
I love conversation.
You said that you're going to
I have
investigate the proposition.
Come over here, sir. You want to talk to me now?
That's
I
good.
will
That's
tell you
one-on-one.
something.
My
That's
business
good.
card.
You know, for
I would
example,
like to give you my business card. This you're gonna find this interesting. It's about God, money, and addiction.
Oh.
Here you go.
Ben, sorry, just
Honestly, yeah, it's
Jazakallah
very, very
khair.
interesting.
Jazakallah
I've
khair.
written the first theory on God not based on faith.
Hurt my eyes.
There you go. Look, you got a free card.
No, yeah.
Okay, so our conversation has only ended because you've now said, okay, you've given me some propositions, and I'll go away and I'll investigate those. Next week, the week after, when we meet again, I'll be happy to discuss those propositions. But one thing I would like to say is that this life is very short.
True.
And what we should do as human beings, I believe, is that we should go wherever the evidence takes us.
Definitely. I'm with you. I agree with you. on that.
Not knowing about things is commendable. And if somebody says, look, I don't know about this, that's fine. Not knowing does not mean that I'm not going to think about those things either.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, so a person should think about those
I
things.
definitely think about things.
And when we think about things, what does Allah say in the Quran?
Hold on, we'll go back to Allah again now.
Yes, but it's a very poignant thing.
We're all going to go back to him eventually, bro.
No, I can't do
Hold on
that.
a second.
I need to be secular about it.
Because you learn
It
from that
relates
book, from
to-
Allah.
Hold
You
on,
learn
it's
from the
biased.
Quran.
It relates.
It says there's a God.
No,
That's
no.
biased.
No,
towards
but
your
hold
God.
on a second.
I want to go secular.
You
I want to
haven't-
go. I want to find out if there is one.
What I'm about to
existential.
Just relax for a second. I haven't finished my sentence.
I cannot relax.
You don't know what I'm going to say. You're jumping to conclusions.
You mentioned the God word.
And the God word that I'm mentioning, the verse that I'm mentioning, would be just as appealing to the secularist, the humanist, the atheist, as it is to the
How
deist.
can it be?
I'll tell you, but you haven't heard it.
As
have
an
you?
atheist.
You haven't heard it, have
Go
you?
on.
Do you not think? Do you not use your reason?
Oh, I knew that.
Exactly.
I knew that. I didn't need your God for that. I knew that
Whether
already.
you needed it or you didn't need it is irrelevant.
Your God did not have to come up with that because I had it already.
Okay, so why don't you use your reason?
No, that's what I do.
And your logic.
I do that.
And rather than
do that.
and rather
Every day.
and rather than stagnate at the I
Who
don't.
said, who said I don't? That's not a stagnation.
Hold on a second.
That's just an ignorant fact.
You don't like to be interrupted, yet you keep interrupting me as well. You won't even let me finish the sentence. I'll let you talk after I just finish, very quickly. A person should not stagnate in I don't know. They should use their rational faculties to come up with possibilities of how something may have happened. And if there is any collaborating evidence to take you in either direction, and if you find it, accept it. And if you don't find it, don't. But don't say I don't know, and I will not know, and I don't want to know. That's the difference.
Astrophysicists, cosmologists,
Yes.
people who study the universe
Yes.
in-depthly
Yes.
have not come up with.
There are some that have though. There are some
But they've come up with hypotheses
Evidence.
and theories.
Yeah, and God was not in the equation.
The scientific method relies on philosophical naturalism. In other words, every action that you see has a naturalistic explanation. Science is not the tool to try to discover the metaphysical. Science is not designed to do that. Science is a wondrous thing. It's a beautiful thing. It tells us how things work and how we can perhaps improve things. But it doesn't tell you why or how they got there necessarily. That's the metaphysical. That's a philosophical argument. So those are separate things. So all I'm going to say to you is that I've presented certain things to you. You can go on aira.org. There's a lot of free literature on there. Hamza Zorsis, mashallah, writes a very good book on the divine reality. There's other free literature on there that goes through philosophical arguments, Quranic arguments, and it's for you to then assess the validity of those claims based upon the evidence that you find. If you don't find the evidence,
is that an Islamic bias, these resources?
that's for you to investigate. That's for you to challenge. That's for you to scrutinize.
I'm off that.
Yeah?
Anyway, you know,
Thank you.
go to my link. I have written the first theory.
Barakallah
not
fika,
based on
Akhuya.
Okay,
Take a
thank you.
Yeah. But the one thing I would say,
Yes.
the one thing I say to atheists is, because I talk to a lot of atheists,
Yeah?
have a lot of conversations.
Must
with
have a lot of patience.
right? And what happens with atheists? What happens with atheists often is that the I don't know Joker or Trump card is used to stall the arguments or the discussions, or where those discussions may end up, where they may go. And I think that's not being intellectually honest. If I see a car in my garage, I'm not going to say I don't know how I got there. I'm going to say I'm going to say look,
My friend,
somebody.
come on now,
I'm going to
come
say somebody must have driven it in there.
Yeah.
When I was asleep last night,
One second,
somebody's put the
second.
car in there. I'm not going to say, oh well, it could have come from nothing.
Okay, and you call me a troll.
It's possible it come from nothing.
You
I
call
don't
me
know.
a troll.
No, I didn't say you're a troll.
I
Your
say
friend-
troll.
yeah, he's a troll.
justify it.
So we know that cars are made on Earth
Yeah.
by humans.
Yes.
We have examples, thousands of
Yes.
examples.
Yes.
Give me an example of your God making universes.
Okay. So when you
There
see,
has to be an uncaused cause.
So when you see,
We're going back there
no,
again.
hold on a second.
Otherwise, you have infinite
Hold on.
regression.
The point.
What's wrong with infinite
No,
regression?
brother, we've discussed
Explain
that.
this.
Listen,
Explain it.
when I see a car,
Yeah.
of course I recognize that I've seen programs on the Discovery Channel of men welding the car
Yeah,
and wiring
we have
the car.
examples.
Right. But even if I hadn't seen those programs or hadn't seen those examples, my rational mind would not accept that it just popped out of thin air.
And once again, humans make things.
Okay, now why? And this is so beautiful because Allah alludes to this in the Quran. Allah says to the disbeliever,
We.
did this universe create itself?
How do we know? How do we know?
So what Allah
And
is
we
telling
don't know
what-
that the
Brother,
universe didn't create itself.
So what the
investigation
what
can
the
you
Quran
do?
is doing
Because
is it's
you
telling you
believe-
to think.
Someone did it.
How did it get here?
You're brainwashed, man.
And it's asking you to ponder, to think, to contemplate.
How can
to
you ever
investigate.
ponder how the universe got here?
I'll give you an example. How do you ponder on anything's existence?
Bro, you just rattled for about 10 names of people that spent their whole life studying the universe.
No.
Exactly.
How do you ponder on the
Sorry.
existence of anything?
Once again,
All the scientists, there's a lot
Look,
of science.
how do you ponder on the existence of anything?
we see in reality.
A pencil, a rock,
Yeah.
a leaf, a stone, a piece of dust. You can start thinking, where did the dust come from?
Yeah.
Could it be my skin? Could it be a fiber? Could it be this?
You're using
Could it
your
be that?
senses.
Right. But would I ever attribute that it came from thin air, from nothing?
Because this does
Would I-
not
No.
happen
Right?
in your existence. In reality, this does not
Right.
happen. But the beginning of the
Right.
universe, how can you get back there?
Okay. So everything that we know
Yeah.
that's in existence
Uh-huh.
is dependent on something that preceded it, that came before it. Everything.
No.
Is there anything that we think did not have an action before it for its existence?
Yeah.
What?
The universe.
I said everything we see.
Everything we see the universe.
We see the universe.
In the beginning of the
Yes,
universe.
yes.
That happened.
Which scientist tells you that it did not have a beginning? Because from my cosmology, or understanding of cosmology,
Yeah.
and what scientists are saying, the ones that you turn to
Allude to, yeah.
allude to
Yeah.
as your crutches, as your
Yes,
support,
yes.
they're, all
Build it up, build it up.
they're all telling us that the universe had a beginning. And you're saying it didn't have a beginning.
That's right. You got Penrose's CCC theory. So you've got
Oh, he knows
the
better than me.
cyclical,
Yeah.
Right.
cosmological,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you've got the inflationary expansion.
Oh, he
which
knows,
is-
he knows.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's two main theories, but
Yeah.
both of them don't preclude.
Infinite density, infinite matter, infinite energy. And Allah's asking you a very important philosophical question. Did the universe give birth to itself? Think, man. Use your reason.
We are limited in
Use your
reason.
reason.
We are humans, basic humans.
But that-
we have no concept
Yes.
of what happened in the beginning of the
But if
universe.
the scientists thought like you, we'd still be living in stone huts. But they didn't.
Troll.
They constantly
Are you
go
trolling
and they
me?
think.
So-
and they want to learn and they want to investigate.
Yeah.
And that's what
And
Allah's...
what have they come up
and
with?
that's
Did
what
they
Allah's
come up
asking
with
you.
Allah?
What they came up with, actually, is theories that they had, like the static state
Yeah.
universe.
Did they come up with a god
Hold
named
on,
Allah?
hold on a second.
Yes or no?
So people like Einstein who came up with a theory of a static universe,
Yeah.
i.e. it always just was there.
yeah, eternal.
Okay. Their theories were overturned And I think Einstein said my greatest mistake was this arguing about the static state
No, he didn't.
universe.
No, he didn't.
I think that's
I don't know
what
about that. No,
Yeah, he
that
did.
quantum mechanics is what his
No.
greatest mistake was.
Static universe he was arguing for. And when Hubble, with his calculations for redshift and everything else that comes out, he says, no, actually, it's expanding.
Yeah, Einstein couldn't cater for
Right?
quantum mechanics.
Right,
That's
it's
why
expanding.
great. It's
And when they reversed the clock, they found at one point it must have been one entity, one joined entity
Yes.
of infinite, they call it infinite.
No,
when
at
they-
the point in time,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
What was before that?
Scientists say they don't know.
There you go.
Okay, but-
so if the scientists can say they don't know,
Yeah.
I think I'm allowed to, no?
No, but that doesn't stop you from thinking about the possibilities of how it could have come into existence.
Yeah, I'm continually doing that. I have not
that's
stopped.
where-
but I'm
that's
leaning
where-
towards the scientists and not religion.
No, but listen, you're saying you want to go to the scientists
Yeah.
to tell you about an event that they can't investigate. And what I'm saying to you is that does not mean to say that we absolve ourselves of reason.
Oh, we haven't stopped. We've got our
And-
greatest
and of-
minds
and of logic.
looking into it.
Right. And what do our greatest minds tell us?
And obviously it's still ongoing.
They tell
it's
us-
work in
Well, good
progress.
news one is
they
inflationary
tell
expansion,
us-
so that dictates a multiverse.
Yes, but also
So there's it's not just one
No,
universe.
but
there's
also they
millions,
tell us that we may
trillions.
never find out, right?
It's like a grain of sand.
The scientists tell us that we might never know what came before t equals 0. A trillionth of
That's
a
right.
second after
No,
the
but
Big
brother,
Bang.
there's the
We
Had-
might not be able
But
to
what
take
about
the
the-
clock any further back.
What about the hadith which states the universe? If you it's like tossing a ring into the Sahara Desert, and that Sahara Desert
Yes.
is like the Arish compared to the Kursi to the Arish.
Yes, yes.
So there actually Quran states that the universe is not the limit. There's multiple.
Well, the Quran does-
multiple,
They've covered all-
and
No. The Quran
it's-
does reveal.
It states that-
the Quran does say, and we are expanding it, referring to the universe.
How did they know that?
Well, we would argue.
hadith, it's a
We would
hadith.
argue.
It's a
And did they
No,
understand
the
it
Quran,
back then?
the Quran.
Did they understand back then?
About the ring,
Oh, the
tossing
ring, the
into-
tossing.
1400 years ago, did people understand that? Or was that...
No. So, for example, remember that you've got 7th century Arabs who have. So, for example, there are certain verses that fit very much to modern day cosmology or science. And the interpretations that some of the scholars had very early on, they seem to fit very closely. And then there are other interpretations of people who, using their 7th century understanding and logic, they don't fit modern science.
Don't all civilizations kind of say things and you can fit into it? You can shoehorn whatever
The
you want.
beauty about Islam is that when it makes explicit statements or prophecies,
Like the Bible.
that they all came true. The Bible makes explicit claims that didn't come true.
The Torah.
Same with the Torah as well.
All holy books.
Yeah, so what we find with all holy books before the Quran, and this is not a controversial statement, this is widely agreed within academia, within their own faiths, that those works are not preserved. Those books are not preserved. One thing that we can say,
Therefore-
with a surety, is that not only does the Quran make the claim that it is from God, but we can actually demonstrate preservation, which is what the other faiths at the moment are not able to do.
We're just going round again.
Not at all. You've got enough to go on. I've given
send
you,
me away to do
I've
some
given you
research,
lots
yeah?
of homework,
Oh,
right?
no,
So
don't
you
do
have
that.
to
No,
go
no,
and do a
no,
bit of
no.
homework, a bit of research, and then you come back. Huh?
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Well, I wish I was.